Well, hello and welcome back to part 21 of the EVA pod build. Today we're going to actually start prepping the headlights and also doing the base, start prepping the base, getting the holes in for the switches and stuff. So let's take a look. Well, okay, here we are. We got the door just temporary, just placed in there, just dry fit. I wanted to check because I knew, I heard about the nice rubbing that the door likes to hit against there, so I went and took my Dremel and just grinded this down and then put a little felt here, the soft side of Velcro, so then when I open this door it's going to hit that instead of scraping the wall, and then there goes all your decals. So it's working pretty good, sliding pretty nice. I might even not even glue these sides so they have a little springiness, because it is popping it a little bit out. Probably could have gave it a little more of a grind, but it seems to be working okay. I'm not getting any scrapes now, so no marks or scratches. So, but yeah, I might. And the gapping in here is pretty good. And even when I open it, it seems to do pretty good on that edge, because that's the other edge I was worried about. Is when it curves around there, but it seems to be working pretty good. And that Velcro will give it at least something soft to go against. And then I had the notch up here for the light I'm going to put in the camera. Got that in. Just took a, pop this out. Just cut a little notch there so I can get in, because that hole is like right where that peg is. So it would have been impossible to get a wire through there. So that'll allow me to get a wire, and then we'll come down to the headlights through the top. That way we don't ever have anything in the way of the door. And that's why I put a good clear coat on this door, so at least it has a lot of clear if it is going to scratch. I got a lot of clear there to protect the decals, especially this right here. That's where it's going to really want to. And I made sure I cleared these pretty good too, but I'm getting some red from somewhere. But like I said, you'll never see it because that's in the track like that. So, I did a lot of decals on the rest of the fuselage. They're pretty much all on there. The only thing I really have left to decal is the manipulating arms. These guys I gotta do yet. And there's a lot of decals just on these alone. But I'll probably be doing that in a little bit. But probably not on camera because it's just repetitive. It's just decal work, and then I got a couple little things I want to put some silver on these here to make them look actually like they're hydraulic pistons. And then we got to get a silver here. But other than that, these are ready to get decals, so that's going to be cool. Got the decals on the earmuffs. Not a lot on the earmuffs, you just got like that, and then these that go around there. So those are looking good. They're getting ready to be cleared. Just waiting for the other parts, the main body of the EVA to get dry. And then we'll go down and put a clear coat on these and seal these decals up. But yeah, it's really weird how they have these kind of laid out on these things here. Like this one's not so bad. This one's really off there. And they have these going that way and some going this way. So I kind of went with what they're saying, but I just I used this teardrop as an edge, like a 90. So I kept this 90, flush with that, so it looks level. She's gonna actually sit like that when she's on the pod. And then the rest of these I just went with a 90 degree, 90 degrees to these, to have some kind of consistency, because I've seen them all over the place as far as where they are. So I just figured I would do that, and I just laid them down, took a corner of the decal sheet that has a straight edge, and I would put the decal down and I would use that, and then there's my 90 degrees to it. And I wanted to keep them to these little tiny holes, because that seems where most of the ones that are coming off this way are. But at least they have some type of, you know, reason. I mean, I also thought about just putting them like this and making them where they sit level to your eye. You know, like if you're on the ground reading them. I thought about doing that too, but I went that way and it seems to work. Well, the main fuselage is drying, so, and I can't do these until then. But now we can actually start getting on to the headlights and getting things in the fuselage now that it's getting cleared. And these are the headlights on the front. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the top ones. Or we can even just look off. I'm going to do these top ones in a 3mm and do these bottom ones in a 5mm bulb, just to give some type of difference to it. You know, make these look like floodlights and these more, you know, like regular lights. And it would actually even be cool to have them on separate switches, but I rather them both come on at the same time. But that would just give a little difference, even though they are the same size headlamp. I think it would just give some type of difference, you know. Get some bulb sizes, because I always forget, since I don't have drill bits in metric. At least I don't think. I don't know if that DeWalt case has them in metric or not. Not sure. But I think 3/16 is a little too big for a 3mm. I think 3mm I'm going to have to use one of my regular drill bits. Yeah, that's way too. But I think that works for the 5. Actually, I think even that's a little small. It might even be the 1/4 or 7/32. But we'll use this bit because this gives me sizes that I can use. We'll keep 2 of those out to check them. Alright, so yeah, because I love using these step drills or uni bits because they drill such a cleaner hole. And at this point, you don't really need this cloth because it's just going to pick up all the plastic dust. And then we're going to use this so we don't drill into my good mat. It's kind of my drilling mat anymore. Got so many holes in it when I was doing the Falcon, doing the hallways, sconces. So let's start off. And this already gives you a pre-centered, so it should work. And then they have this kind of fake bulby thing in there, so hopefully all that goes away too. But this one here, we're going to want to go up to, what, 2 notches in. Sometimes it's actually even easier just to drill them like this. So I can see, yeah, it's doing great. Does have that big nipple it's got to go through, and we're getting there. We're getting there. So hopefully we can do it before we get past the size we need. 'Cause right there, that's perfect. And see, that's where it's sometimes the step drills do cause a problem because they don't give a big enough channel of that depth before it knocks up to the next step. That's what I was afraid of. Yeah, and that one's too big. That one's huge. So I might have to finish that out with a regular drill bit. That nipple they put in there for a fake headlight is deeper than this step. one blew through. Do we have enough for it to glue? Yeah, and then I just got to get rid of that chrome piece in there. But I got nice chrome paint markers, or I have multiple, so I can touch up chrome really nice now. There it is. I just needed a little, but yeah, we got to get rid of that chrome. Or do we? We might even not even have to. Get rid of the cap. No, I don't like it. The 5mm is going to be no problem because we're going to go bigger than the... We might not have to horribly, but can we clean it up? Here's the thing. Let's see if we can go from this way and clean it up. Maybe that's the key. Oh, that was the key. Might just have to deal with that and see if I can get in there and trim it. Yeah, that works for me. Brush, get rid of the debris. I can touch up. Yeah. I'll touch up the hole with chrome so everything looks like it was meant to be. But yeah, that worked good. A little tricky with the 3mm. Let's still make sure this, yep, and they're not flying through. Yep, beautiful. Yep, so that's the 3mm one. This other one should be a little easier because, like I said, the size of a 5mm bulb is going to totally blow out that part. You know what, and sometimes what works good, 30 seconds, I have that little piece of tape, and I fill that out. Just because you can't see your marks on this drill when it's spinning, sometimes you just take a little tape to the step that you want to stop at. You can do that with regular drill bits too. You want to hit a certain depth. You know, and you're doing it with a hand drill. You don't have a drill press, which sometimes will have, you know, measurements on how deep you're going. Just mark it with some tape quick. And I'll make sure I don't go further than I want to. And once it breaks through that, it'll start drilling the rest of these holes real quick. Because now it's just widening the hole, not actually burrowing through at first. Make sure my tape didn't move. Yeah. Keep going. I always like to check. I can tell we're way under. Yeah. But it'll move fast now. It'll start. There it is. Should have been my step, and completely nice, beautifully clean hole on this side. And the 5mm fits in there perfect. Beautiful. All you have to do is, well, clean out the bit. It's got a lot of plastic to drill through at first. And now we broke through. Now to widen the hole, it'll do that quick. There we are, we're done. Like I said, the step drills give you such a clean, especially in plastics and any type of acrylics or stuff like that. It just gives you such, and anything really, but especially with these, it gives you such a cleaner hole, and it doesn't try to pull, grab, and pull like the normal spiral drill bits. So that's perfect. That's all. Now we're ready. We can start wiring. Once those things are dry down there, and I can start handle them again, we can start installing the lights for the headlights here. But just want to show you where we were at this point. Slowly going on. I'm going through chemotherapy, so there's days where I'm just drained. Like today, I'm feeling more better than I did yesterday, the day before. I just had no energy to do anything, and I just figured I would just do some decals, because that's not very energy, just kind of looking in place and decals. But yeah, we'll be back soon and on wiring these guys, so see you soon. Well, welcome back everyone. Look what we got here. I found something for my base for the EVA pod. I was at the Dollar Tree and I was seeing if they had something maybe that I could use for a base, and I found something perfect. This is a cosmetic little case I got for like $5 at the Dollar Tree. Yeah. It's a bath collection large organizer, AMG, $5. This thing will work perfect. Now, I'm also thinking that they had smaller ones that would work great for, you know, some of my tools on the bench here, but we're not going to use it this way. We're going to flip her upside down, and boom, there's our base. I like the angle that it gives. I already have a center mark for where I can put my pole, so this is perfect. And it's got this nice little edge, little fancy little angled off edge here that goes all the way around it, which I'm thinking maybe doing that a silver. Just looking at some of the pictures of the inside of the pod hanger base, you know, some of those things always have, it looks silver. They could be white, but I'm going to go with silver because we're going to do the pinstripe around it too. I'll probably do like come off a little bit and do a pinstripe. And maybe, I'm not sure if I'm going to go all the way around or just do it around the buttons just like the control panels are. Probably might just stick it with just the control panels here to make it look like the panels inside the EVA pod. And then when I put these switches in, let's see here, and it should be deep enough because these are pretty deep switches. And I got a nice red one, which I'm going to use for the main power. And then we got these blues that we'll use, and some whites just to throw another color in there. And these light up too, so that's awesome. So yeah, and we can do, you know, something like this. And these will control the, it's a little slippery there, I guess. So these will control some of the buttons. We'll put like the red out here. You know, try to copy one of the panels in the actual pod. Probably like this one has 4 blues and then a red way out here. So I think we're doing 3 blues and a white. And I might stick the white like a half space off, and then I can put this red like way over here. to kind of simulate even that whole deal there, or we could do something, you know, something like that. Yeah. So we could have these guys, you know, just kind of doing that. What do I got? I got the buttons. We got one for the display. We got one for the red lights, and then we got our headlights. Yeah, so it's gonna be 4 of those, and then we'll have like maybe this red floating way out here, and then we'll do a pinstripe around it like they do on the panels. And I have extra because these are actually kind of cool. They might work for other projects, but I think this thing is deep enough, and that was the other thing. It had to be deep because these are really, especially even with the prongs, these are pretty deep. But yeah, oh yeah, we'll be fine. We could even get them pretty close down to this edge, but we'll figure out how I'd want it. You know, I think it's gonna sit. Probably keep it up a little bit. Probably keep them right about in this area, and that way we can turn stuff on the pod. So I think that's going to be awesome. This was a great find. You know, I thought I was going to have to build stuff. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. It's plenty strong because it's heavy plastic. It's actually a heavy stand. And then with all these structures in here, you know, it's definitely got. And the pod's not terribly heavy altogether. But then we'll drill a hole. We'll put this down through. Figure I'd just get a block of wood and make a real tight fit with some JB weld, and then it comes through, and then we'll, you know, what part of the rod that comes through, we'll tighten it up there. But I might make it still so it can spin, because I would like the pod to be able to move. So I gotta figure out what would be the best way to still let it move. Either let it loose, you know, don't tighten this part up so it can. And make sure it's good and tight up at the pod, because I don't want it to be loose up there. I want that nice and tight because we can't get to the nuts. But yeah, this worked out great. So I'm going to start doing some layouts because we got to get rolling on this as well. And yeah, and then we can just put a power jack back here. And that's awesome. Drill a couple holes. Boom, boom. Put a power jack here. The old 2mm power jack, so it just plugs in. And you won't see that, and I kind of like the angle. Kind of gives something different. It's sturdy. So yeah, good find at the Dollar Tree. Makeup or bathroom, I think they're calling this a bathroom organizer. So very cool. Well, I'm going to start laying out some stuff and come back at another time and show you where we're at. Okay, welcome back. Getting a little further on the base head I got here from the Dollar Tree, which was a bathroom, you know, organizer. It's supposed to be like this, and I guess you put stuff in here and stuff in here. But boy, this plastic is a strong, brittle in a sense, but really strong plastic, and it was hard to drill these holes through, and it would get hot. And actually the heat of when I drilled this one, because I had this piece here, I actually had to cut that, and even just the pieces falling off would melt into the, as you can see there, it actually melted into the plastic there, but it's on the bottom so it don't matter. But yeah, I had to, of course, where I wanted a button was where this brace was, but you know, took my Dremel and a cutting wheel. Look, the actual plastic actually melted onto the wheel. I'm gonna have to like clean this, like it's even caked in there, and this stuff comes hard like it was molded like that. So it's gonna be fun. This wheel might be trash, but that's okay. They're just, I got tons of them, but yeah, to get removing it off of the shaft there is gonna be fun. But yeah, to try to cut through that, yeah, and then you gotta watch because then it gets melty and doesn't really want to cut. And yeah, a lot of fun. Like even the burrs, I still want to clean up these burrs. You know, it's the inside and underneath. Like there's even splatter that's stuck. It's stuck to the wall. But yeah, even the little curl over burrs, they're like it's been molded that way. So yeah, it was fun drilling these holes out. But no worries, because everything's nice on top, even though it being clear you see the mess underneath, but you won't see that once it gets painted. I had a little crack there, but it didn't come through. Me just pushing so hard, but I had to kind of like drill and then pull out and let it cool and then drill, you know, because it was just getting hot and caking up the drill bits and everything. So, but we got through it, and I'm happy with it. But yeah, that little crack there, I'm not even feeling on this side. I'll hit it with a little thin, extra thin cement there just to make sure, but it's pretty much probably heated right back up and melted because it's not flexing at all. So, and this stuff is thick, but that's okay. That's great. It's got some weight to it, so I know the pod's not going to tip. I love the shape of it. I love that it has this little nice rim around it. It couldn't have been any perfect. It's just walking around at the Dollar Tree, and I was just like, let's see if they have anything here. You know, I heard about other people buying, you know, things that just are containers that have things, and they buy the whole thing even though they don't want what's in it. But so I happened to look out on this, and I like the angle. It's different, you know. So, but yeah, then all these should fit in there nice. We'll have our power one there. And I'm gonna do the 3 blues in a row. Of course, they're gonna go further down. I don't have the washer, the nuts off them. Because they'll get this piece and that washer from underneath. So it'll have a good clamp too, because this will be coming down from underneath. But I was using these to space. So what I did is I just, you know, kind of figured out where I want it. I ran a center line, so at least I knew how far, because these are pretty deep. And then I just spaced them out. I think I spaced them out 1 centimeter each. And then this white one this last one I spaced a 1.5 centimeters off of this one. And this one I think I did 2 or 3 centimeters over. Just because that's how they have some buttons on the EvaPod. You know, you'll have like theirs are probably a lot closer. They're probably like this. But I thought it'd be funny just to cluster this tight. Let's make it a little bigger. But you know, I did try to pull that illusion where they do make one like a little further than the other, and then sometimes they'll have one that's a lot further than the other. You know, something like that. Or here's where there's like 4 blues and then about 2 buttons worth with there's a red. You know. Or same here, you got like 4 and then 1 button space, then empty, and then there's a white. You know, so try to pull that kind of design into this. So, and then I'll do a pinstripe around it. To kind of, because they seem to have pinstripes around their button clusters. So I'm not sure if I'll bring it out or just keep it like this, like normal, like the normal spacing they kind of do. Sometimes they even come out further, and then but I think we'll just keep it, just square them off. And what I'm going to do is just first thing I'm going to do is paint that white, and then put a pinstripe down, and then paint the thing black, and then pull that pinstripe up, and then we should have the tape up, and we should have that pinstripe. But yeah, I'm very happy, and I got the hole in for the rod, which was fun as well. I also had to make sure, even though this is angled, I need this to be straight. So, and that's perfectly tight ski. We'll clean up and do it, you know, any weird puttying. Now it's just going to be to figure out how to keep this from being like this. But what I think I'm going to do is get a block of wood and cut it the size of this little cabinet. Let's get these guys out of here. Flip it upside down. I think what I'll do is cut a block of wood just to fit in here. You know, a thick one. You know, and then we'll drill. I probably should mount the block and then just drill through this so it'll be dead center. I think that's what we'll do. And yeah, I'll try to make it as tight as possible so it fits in there mechanically tight, and maybe some JB weld or something. I don't know. Even if I get it as thick as at least here, that it can face at the bottom, but I gotta probably drill, you know, enough so I can get a thread when this comes through. That we can get a thread on there. So, but I've done that, done similar things before. Put a block of wood in there will give me lots of strength. You know, put a nice good block and epoxy it in there. That should do it. But just wanted to show you how it's coming out. I'm very happy with that. But that's gonna be pretty neat, I think. Especially when, you know, especially if I push these buttons all the way down. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. So, and these do light up. See if I can get one to light. So that's awesome too. And they'll light up when you push them. Right now I'm just hitting them across. These are the two LED positive and negatives. This is the negative and positive. So, but yeah, they'll light up. So they'll just be just like on the ship. And you press them, they'll light. You can do different things. You can have them actually stay on constantly. There's different ways you can wire this system. I can keep them on where they stay on constantly. Like there's the LED stays on no matter what you push. Or you can do it where when you push them to turn whatever you want, they're turning on, the light can go out. But when they're not sending power to what they're supposed to, the light's off, you know, or on or something like that. You can do it either way, but I'm going to do them where they're, you know, when I push on to turn the main power on for this red one, then I want the red to come on. That's how I'm going to do all these. So, that should be really cool. And now I'm looking at that. Let's see what they look like with them all in. Yeah, and it's hiding any of, like, nothing really boogery happened up here, even though it looks bad because you're seeing through clear plastic. But yeah, that's gonna look good. I'm excited. I was kind of stressing it what I was gonna do for a base for this. You know, a lot of people do the hanger bay thing with the kind of the Lazy Susan thing, and you know, make that, and that looks really cool. I love that idea, but it's like it's kind of been done, so it's like, what can I do to be a little different? And I've seen people do the lidded floor from the end of the movie where it's the grid floor that's all white. Seen that done, but yeah, that's what she's gonna look like. You gotta make sure they're all gonna be square. And I did a pretty good job of getting them in line. This one here might have moved, but that's because probably these three here, these, you know, there look pretty good. Good enough for summer stock. They're probably not you know, because the drill bits wanted to move, and as much of a pain in the neck. Yeah, those three are in line. Those two are dipped down here, but that's okay. That's okay. Once everything's said and done, and you got, I'm going to do the silver border on this lip, and then the white pinstripe, and it's all black. And we got the pod floating up here. And she should sit about, the base should sit about there, because see, that much is going to be inside it, threaded. And then you got that dimple that sits in, so yeah, her base, so that's good. I think that'll work. But yeah, just wanted to do a quick, or not so quick, update on what this is looking like now. It's just time to paint. Oh, I do need to get another hole. That's one thing I should do before I paint, is get a hole in for the power jack in the back there, but that's not going to be too bad. It's a small hole. But there you go. And then I'll have to drill some holes in these to get power from there to here. Because power's going to come in and then hit this first, and then this is going to feed all these switches, and then the switches will. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 power lines and going up. 4 different circuits plus a nice heavy or decent gauged negative to pull all the negatives together. But yeah, so we'll have to drill some holes in these 2 bars here to get power over to here and then back through. So yeah, that's another hole I gotta do. But looking good. So we'll keep you updated. Until next time, thanks for watching.